it just works out that way. And so that's the key we want to target for, is obviously have a better target rate than our competition. So researching core terms is more than just gathering data, but making good decisions too. Obviously, a lot of this is common sense too. Keep that in mind. Figure out which core terms are most viable, what's going to produce the best returns for your efforts. Obviously, you don't want to be using keywords that don't really relate to your content. It's got to be, just basic logic like that. And so here we go, guys. Congratulations. We're done with phase one. We've developed, and through the questions you have to ask yourself, and only you can ask yourself through these questions here, search volume versus targeted audience, how you're going to weigh your core terms. Now you've prioritized your terms and how you want to optimize your site at this point. So now we're going to have to discover off those next phase 2, guys, is discovering search phrases based off those core terms. This is when it starts to get even more targeting. Now we're starting to get into the direction we really want to start heading into. So the difference between a core term and a search phrase, well, a core term covers a broad topic. Search phrases are core terms with qualifiers, very important. That narrows the focus on the topic, and we're going to talk about what qualifiers are. So 3 types of search phrases, real quick, are stemmed variations, singular or plural. For example, I think I have an example here. Okay, for an example, endings like S, ED, stuff like that. So car parts, also search phrase car part, automobile accessories, auto accessory, stuff like that, changing things around. I think I have examples here. Okay, art supply turns into art supplies. I mean, this literally will change what's being searched. So if you're optimized for art supply and someone's looking for art supplies and you haven't optimized for any variation of art supply, you're not going to come up the ranking you think you would. They say you're ranking number 1 for art supply. You're most likely not going to rank for art supplies because your keywords are not geared towards that. So you can see what I'm saying? So you want to make sure you think of everything. Attached modifiers. Okay, so here's an attached modifier. For an example, above we're going to stick with art supply. We can attach the qualifiers. Like a discount, advanced, beginner, store, something like that. Make it more focused. Okay, so like discount, art supplies, discount, art supplies, beginner, beginning. I think we have examples later, but you get the idea. Start changing these words around and combine the 2 above. Okay, so that's kind of what I was doing right now. Art supply becomes from discount art supplies. Okay, discounted art supplies, beginner, beginning. You see what I'm saying? Variations of these particular qualifiers will expand your keyword research even further. Start putting, so at this point I start putting these in my Excel spreadsheet, all the qualifiers I want to use for my specific core terms. So it's really just your core term added with the qualifier. So, and just by doing that simple step, you've now developed I guess you can consider a long tail keyword at this point, because 3 or more words is more targeted. So that's good there. So let's move on. So find your search phrase. With the use of keyword tools available, searching out the core terms for related searches has become a simple process. Of course it has. This is a lot easier with more of the paid tools out there too. Can take care of a lot of these steps for us. But because it's simple, again, I stress, don't rush. Make sure you take your time through this whole process. Now, what I use personally, I use Word Tracker. It's a paid keyword search tool. But simply what it does for me, it saves me time, especially when I'm just trying to do a simple campaign of an article or a press release or a video tutorial on something where I don't want to sit there and spend 24 hours looking for keywords like as I would do on my websites. Word Tracker is awesome for that. It's going to give you results that will already include qualifiers and stems and modifiers and whatnot, singular, plural versions. It's going to also come with like thesaurus resort, similar words and all that good stuff. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to pop up Word Tracker real quick for you guys, because I think that would be good. I didn't pop it up yet, so bear with me here. So Word Tracker right now. I'm going to go ahead and log in. Okay, now I could do a whole tutorial here on Word Tracker, but we're not going to get too deep into it. I just want to show you one of the cool aspects of it. Okay, so for example, keyword universe research. This is where I would go, and I'm not going to get too deep in all the functions of Word Tracker. I just want you to see how it works. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and put in car parts, and it does lateral searches, thesaurus searches. Let's go ahead and proceed. So roughly 60 seconds. So let's give that a second there. Okay, it's finished. It did it. So here we go. Again, there it goes. Look at that. Car parts, auto parts, accessories, parts. It breaks it down. So it comes up with a whole bunch of different things related to car parts, shocks. I mean, look how that's pretty deep down there. Shocks, you know, a specific car part. Tools. So what we do now is my first core term was car parts. So we're going to dig even deeper into car parts, and we're going to want to do it to every core term that you want to look into. So let's dig into car parts, and that's going to take it and bring it to the right hand side here. And now it's going to put car parts using all modifiers that we talked about, qualifiers. Car parts, used car parts online, blah blah blah. You get the idea, but it comes up with a whole bunch of things dealing with car parts. And this is also the predict. So they predict off the meta searches. Okay, so they've taken, here it is. They've taken from Dogpile and Metacrawlers for the last 150 days. So, and they have their calculations. They have a kind of an algorithm where they can take what's counted, and then this prediction is basically throughout all the search websites, MSN, Yahoo, whatnot. So car parts to the word tracker is searched 1,152 times a day. I believe that's a 24-hour period. But yeah, all this other information here, we're not going to get into training. But basically what the point is you could take car parts now, or any of these other terms that came up with, and you can dig even deeper. So let's dig even deeper. It has a function where you can dig deep into car parts. And so that's going to come up with even more variation of car parts, and starts digging really deep into your core terms. So now you have, a lot of these are going to repeat, but you're going to have like second-hand car parts, your stock car parts. So it's really going to start getting deep into it. You got to be careful too, because obviously a lot of these wouldn't relate. If I'm doing basically auto parts, golf cart parts aren't really going to help me. So you got to be logical on what you pick and what you don't pick. But here's another cool aspect that it can do. So I'm going to go ahead and take all these keywords here for car parts that it came with when it crawled. I'm going to add them to my basket here, and I'm not so much going to tell you exactly what's happening. So it added 600 keywords related to car parts into this whole database, if you want to say. And you can go to another step here, and what's really cool now you can take these keywords, okay, you get an idea of the count again, but you can also do competitive searches with this and start checking out how well is your competition optimized to these words, these keywords. Okay, so that's another really cool thing, checking out the competition. And so Word Tracker allows you to do two things. So Google and Yahoo, two of the biggest engines. We're going to check them out. I'm not going to get into any of this. I'll just really quick tutorial here, guys, because we're trying to get off the beaten path here. But so get about 60 seconds, and it's going to give you a comparison out there of Google's, and it's going to give you a comparison. Oh no, I didn't click Google. Okay, well, just Yahoo then. For this purpose, it doesn't matter. But you can click up to two at a time, as it says right here. So it looks like about 3 seconds left. Okay, so here we go. So it looks like out there, Napa Auto Parts Store, there is 2,780,000 other sites out there using the keyword Napa Auto Parts. You see how it works? Okay, so that gives you an idea of what the competition is. Now keep in mind, this isn't exact science here, because this isn't just websites. This can be blogs, articles, anything out there using Napa Auto Parts Store. So let's say, for example, I went out and I broke my toe on an engine sitting in the middle of Napa Auto Parts Store, and I wrote a blog about how Napa Auto Parts suck. They're this and that. I'm not saying they do. I'm just saying for an example. I wrote a blog saying that. Well, they're going to take that blog and put it in here as a competing website for that keyword, even though I have nothing to do. I don't even care to get any traffic from that, but you know what I'm saying? But it becomes part of the analysis here in the competing. So keep that in mind, that it's not an exact science again, but you get an idea of all these keywords, these long tail keywords, and the competition behind it. So that's very, very helpful. Okay, I guess I did click Google. So here's Google's results. So these are results on Yahoo. These are results on Google. So you get an idea, okay? So Google has a little bit less competition, but you get the idea. Alright, so enough about that, but Word Tracker, it's beautiful. I love it. It does a lot of the hard work for me, but I still do my first search phrases. I still do my brainstorming to make sure I'm on the right track, but it does a very, very good job.